We begin with a story making an impact around the world and right here in Siouxland. A group of people from Sioux City speaking out after escaping a war zone in Israel. What should have been the trip of a lifetime turned into a life-threatening journey. KTIV's Taylor Deckert sat down with several members of the group to bring us their harrowing tale.
Boy, did those missiles come in. It was laying on the asphalt and covering our heads with our hands.
A group from Sioux City's congregation Beth Shalom is back in America after escaping Israel during the missile strikes.
The whole country shut down. All museums, schools, shopping centers, libraries, everything was shut down.
The journey started June 8th, a peaceful trip learning a lot of history along the way, but took a turn for the worst on Friday, June 13th, when missiles were flying from Iran.
Very, very loud sirens blaring throughout the city. By that point, we were in Jerusalem. Sort of like the tornado air warning sirens we have here, only like 1,000 of them and right in your ear. Very, very loud, very frightening.
The activities continued, venturing not far from the hotel and bomb shelters in Jerusalem before making the trip back.
Our tour guide retained, and so sort of gingerly we ventured out on foot or by van.
The biggest struggle of the trip came when they were trying to fly back. The escape from the country included a bus ride from Jerusalem to Jordan. Then they flew to the island of Cyprus, which then got them back to the United States, landing in Florida.
Realized we were safe from the missiles when we passed the outskirts of Jerusalem.
Dr. Stephen Gordon was still making his travels on Thursday after delays caused the group to be split up. He recalled the moment during the Sabbath dinner being told to go into the bomb shelter.
When we came back to finish the meal, surprisingly, it tasted the best ever. And our group was just having so much time being in the moment because the threat of death was imminent. There's this line from the 23rd Psalm. He prepares a meal for me, he prepares a table for me in the presence of my enemy. And I never knew what that meant.
Although the journey was described as a hurry up and wait, it's a trip these members won't forget.
What we did get to see, and it's a very moving, spiritually, emotionally moving time, even more so probably under the crucible of this experience of a war going on.
In Sioux City, Taylor Deckert, KTIV News 4.
3 members of that group made it back to Sioux City on Tuesday. 3 more made it back on Wednesday. The rest are scheduled to arrive back in Sioux City by Friday night. The group attributes their escape from Israel to a nonprofit, Gray Bull Rescue, which organized their evacuation along with thousands of others.